The next time you like, man, I quit. I say you quit.
Need 1 point.
No, cause he cheated, but it's the fact, bro. You can't be cheating, bro.
That, but
I got 6. I'm not cheating.
You gotta make one basket, bro.
What the fuck? And then you walk up after the next. I mean, fucked up because you quit. You ain't fucking playing.
You need 1 point. You need 1 point.
I don't give a fuck, nigga. You go 15 or 10 on, nigga. I got you to leave his ass.
What are you talking about, man? Play ball.
Damn.
Bro, you go talk.
If I gotta cut the lines on, folks, that's what I'm gonna do.
We've been talking since the first point, though.
And I'm winning.
Where we going to, Rhea? Where we going to, man?
Can I get some water after this? I can't eat water and get a water.
Oh, man. Where we going to?
No, we going to.
You just worked on killing me going to 15.
Yeah, we can go.
Oh, don't say that. Don't
give me on my calls.
Yo.
Boss said I'm gone.
Yeah, you crazy, bro. What the fuck?
Come on.
Well, you pull out and you shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed?
Yeah.
After the 4th shot?
Probably like the 3rd shot.
Okay. But after you start shooting, all hell breaks loose. There were off-duty cops in the area, and they start shooting.
Right.
You end up getting shot twice?
Right.
Well, what parts of the body?
I get shot in my right hip bone, and I get shot on my ass. It go in and out, though.
Okay, so this is now the 2nd time you've gotten shot.
Yeah, it's the 2nd time I done got shot.
Are you more calm about it this time since you've gone through it before?
Yeah, because like the first time I got shot, I didn't even have a panic attack. I was calm. So it's like this time, I knew like, do the same thing, like stay calm and just make sure I get to the hospital.
Okay, so a shootout now happens. And a lot of people are starting to get hit. So King Von had a guy named Slutty. He gets killed by the police. King Von's manager, 100K, Track, he gets shot in the leg. O-Block Louie, who I interviewed not too long ago, he gets shot in the head. I guess in the video, he tries to pull out a gun, and I guess his gun jammed or something like that.
I think so. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of like, by me getting shot, I kind of was like, not in a full state of mind. It's like a lot of ringing going on in my ear, I guess, from all the gunshots.
Right, because bullets are flying everywhere at this point.
Right.
Did you think that King Von survived the shooting, or did you know that he was gone at that point?
No, I didn't know neither one, if he was gone or still alive. I just, like I say, I didn't even know it was him. So I didn't even know if he was dead or alive. I just was trying to make sure Quando was good.
They know the exact nigga that put 10 bullets in King Von and he died there by himself. Why nobody slid for that nigga? So what is Durk doing? He's not doing shit. Before you leave Miami, you call Durk and get him in the same room as me. Make it happen.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder for hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night and is being held without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that murder for hire plot. Now, the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was killed in 2022. Investigators believe it was retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von.
For years, the world watched Lil Durk build an empire through music, loyalty, and the OTF brand. But behind that success, federal investigators were quietly building something of their own. A case that would eventually connect Chicago, Los Angeles, millions of dollars, encrypted communications, surveillance, alleged gang activity, and the shooting that left a 24-year-old man dead. His name was Lul Pab Robinson. He was the cousin of rapper Quando Rondo, and according to federal prosecutors, his death was not random. They allege it was retaliation. Retaliation for the killing of OTF superstar King Von nearly 2 years earlier. Now, Lil Durk and 5 other defendants are facing a federal trial that could determine the rest of their lives. But perhaps the most shocking part of the case isn't the shooting itself. It's what prosecutors say happened after one man walked out of prison. Because according to the government, someone inside OTF may have been listening and recording. November 2020, Atlanta. King Von was killed outside a nightclub following an altercation involving Quando Rondo's entourage. The murder sent shockwaves through Chicago's rap scene. Von was more than a rapper. He was one of the biggest stars connected to OTF.
A rapper who is among those who were shot and killed in a gun battle in downtown Atlanta, with 3 others dead and injured as well.
Atlanta police say the video posted on Instagram appears to show what happened. You can see people scattering last night as shots were fired after the fight outside of the business went out into the street. Responding officers returning fire while trying to intervene in that fight. 11 Live's Natasha Gibbons has the latest.
Well, this is an active crime scene with 2 parking lots partially roped off and GBI investigators still here on scene. This shooting made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
2 groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of gunfire.
APD says the gun battle took place in 3 different spots near Trinity Avenue, where a total of 6 people were shot. 3 have died. One of them, a rapper Davon Bennett, who goes by the stage name King Von. His social media pages have been filling up with RIP messages and other artists sending their condolences. GBI says King Von and a group of men left Opium nightclub and went to Monaco Hookah Lounge early Friday morning. Investigators say after they arrived, 2 men approached the group in the parking lot and an argument ensued. From there, shots were fired. Investigators say APD officers nearby responded and both fired shots, but it's unclear if the men who were killed and hurt were hit by the officers' gunfire or the 2 groups. Aside from King Von, no other victims' identities have been released. There is speculation on social media that another rapper may have been involved in the initial argument and shooting, but investigators have not confirmed that. And we're told no officers were injured during the shooting, but they say there was a 7th victim who was struck by a car during the altercation. That driver did not stop. Right now, police say they are reviewing surveillance video and conducting interviews. We'll bring you the latest details as they become available.
And his death created a question that will linger for nearly 2 years. Would there be retaliation? Federal prosecutors say there was. They allege that Lil Durk and members of his circle eventually turned their attention toward Quando Rondo. But when the alleged hit unfolded in Los Angeles in August 2022, Quando Rondo was not the person who died. Instead, his cousin, Lul Pab, was killed at a gas station. The government claims the shooting was part of a murder-for-hire conspiracy, and that allegation transformed what might have looked like another violent incident into something much bigger, a federal conspiracy case, one involving 6 defendants, and evidence prosecutors say reaches deep inside OTF.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath. Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in one car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade. It's unclear if those inside shot back.
Can I get some space, please?
It ended at Santa Monica Boulevard. Deputies found it peppered with bullet holes and a shattered window. One man inside, a member of Rondo's entourage, had been shot. The 23-year-old was taken to the hospital where he died. A scene left with remnants of the fight, shoes left in the street, doors flung open. The suspects still on the run. We still don't know what spurred it all, but LAPD says it started at a gas pump.
Victim vehicle, they pulled up, they were pumping gas, and it looks like they probably finished pumping gas, and the suspects approached from the alley, got out of the car, and started shooting at those victims.
Investigators are still trying to piece together details, but they're looking for a white four-door sedan with suspects wearing dark clothing.
Police helicopters overhead, so we knew something was up.
People in the neighborhood shocked by the news.
Disappointed. There have been a lot of incidents in the past couple of years. It does seem that things have been happening more often on Melrose, between Fairfax and Melrose and around here.
According to TMZ, Rondo was not injured.
Then there was Casey OTF Jam Hester. Before he became one of the most important witnesses in the government's case, Hester had already spent years behind bars. He has served a 12-year sentence in Illinois connected to an attempted murder case stemming from a 2010 shooting. Then, in 2022, he was released.
Well, like, how did you even get linked in with just OTF period?
Man, shit. You get LinkedIn. I already do LinkedIn. When you grew up together, this ain't no people I met. Nah, I knew them, like I'm saying, this was before jail. I know Durk was rapping when he had that. We came out that loud one, lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, like before y'all never even heard of that. Like, this was shit in our parties, like personal shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's bro. You know what I'm saying? My whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like I remember when the money wasn't there, first I'm gonna say you 50. I got you and I still do that. Gave my lawyer money and everything when I'm fighting my case. I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through. All that, like Durk come through. That's sure.
And publicly, everything appeared to be exactly what you might expect. Loyalty, respect, recognition. Lil Durk reportedly celebrated Hester for serving his entire sentence without cooperating with law enforcement. He allegedly gave him $50,000 and a new car. Durk would even reference the money in
niggas like, you know what I'm saying? He said, Jam get out that jam, I'll give him 50, he ain't gotta ask again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta ask shit, bro. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
More than that shit. More than that shit. But so, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, we ain't gotta get into all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight, like he's saying, gotta ask again, you know, like shit. Crib, car, all that. Just have to take care of anything I have to take care of, period. Like, it's still up.
That's what we do.
To the outside world, it looked like a powerful symbol of street loyalty. But there was something nobody knew, at least not yet. According to federal prosecutors, Hester had begun cooperating with the FBI. And the man who had just been welcomed back into the OTF circle was already carrying a secret, a wire.
5 other OTF members were arrested: Kevon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston. They're charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire resulting in death, use of, carry, and discharge of firearms, and a machine gun in the furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death.
Probably a switch.
Yeah, exactly. Extremely serious charges that might actually carry the death penalty.
And they said that the OTF credit cards was used to book flights as well as rental cars, right?
Right. According to the indictment, multiple individuals tied to OTF coordinated the plot and discussed payments after the alleged attempt on Quando's life. The plan allegedly involved offering music industry opportunities and cash rewards in exchange for the killing of Quando. On the same day, OTF associated credit cards were reportedly used to book flights with several individuals involved to return to Chicago.
Now, how would they know that, here goes the problem, There's a couple problems here. How would they know that music contracts was offered? Who would have to tell them that?
Well, prosecutors state that these transactions and the informant's recordings played key roles in linking Lil Durk to the murder for hire plan. There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam
now
got
he
him
put
in a
everyone in
jam.
the jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case. But eventually he flipped.
Yep.
He got put in the jam and now he's...
Right. OTF Jam did 12 years for attempted murder back, I guess around 2010. He got out in 2022, right around the same time of the Quando situation. And he allegedly had been wearing a wire for the last 2 years.
From 22 to 24.
Yeah.
So he immediately got caught up.
Yes. That's what it sounds like.
Imagine trusting someone enough to speak freely around them. Now imagine discovering later that some of the conversations have been recorded. This is the role prosecutors are giving Hester. They say he spent years secretly working with the FBI while remaining close enough to people inside OTF to capture conversations investigators couldn't have obtained otherwise. And one alleged conversation could become particularly important. Prosecutors claim Hester was involved in a bathroom conversation with Lil Durk, where Durk allegedly warned him to slow down on the murders because he was moving too hot and attracting federal attention. If the jury believes that testimony, the prosecution could argue it demonstrates far more than casual conversation. It could become evidence of knowledge, awareness, and alleged involvement in a larger criminal enterprise. But there is another question hanging over Hester. How much should the jury trust him? After all, he isn't an outside observer. He's a former criminal defendant with his own history. And his testimony could potentially mean the difference between freedom and life in prison for others. The defense will have every reason to attack his credibility, and prosecutors will have to convince 12 jurors that his information is worth believing. OTF Jam has also been alleged in the paid killing of FBG Cash back in June of 2022.
A Southside rapper was killed this morning after a gunman armed with a rifle opened fire on his car. 31-year-old Tristan Hamilton performed under the name FBG Cash. Police say he was driving near 81st and Ashland when the shooting occurred. A 29-year-old woman who was asleep in the car was seriously wounded. Hamilton was part of a group of rappers known as the Flyboy Gang. Nearly 2 years ago, another member of that group, FBG Duck, was killed on the Gold Coast. His real name was Carlton Weekly. 4 members of the street gang have been charged in that murder.
And OTF Jam was also named along with THF Bezu and one other as being paid by Durk to take out O Block members Munna Duke. O Block Youngin was just a casualty of war during that hit.
Just out of Edgewater, an overnight shooting has left 2 people dead. There's another individual hurt. Asal is at the scene. Asal resides. She's at Broadway near Rosemont Avenue, gathering all the details for us as everything unfolds. Asal.
Yeah, Suzanne, we just watched police pick up dozens of evidence markers before they cleaned the scene here, and the fire department just showed up. They are washing off the sidewalk as we see them often do after crime scenes are cleared up. We heard on police scanner radio that the shooting happened at this place called Pork Chop right here. Online it says they're a restaurant and jazz lounge. We're told the victims were standing right here on the sidewalk when someone drove by and started shooting. Take a look at this video we have of the scene. At least 40 evidence markers on the street here in the shooting's aftermath. Police say gunshots rang out just before 1:30 this morning. This is on Broadway between Devon and Rosemont Avenue. Right now, police say they don't know what led up to this shooting. When they arrived, they say they found 3 people shot, and none of the victims could give them any information. We're told a 28-year-old and a 31-year-old man were both shot and pronounced dead at nearby hospitals. A 36-year-old 40-year-old man was also shot and taken to Evanston Hospital, where he was in fair condition at last check.
You guys are getting a person shot in the 24th District, Broadway and Rosemont and Broadway. Caller says the male shot in the back. Offenders ran away. Caller says that the shooting was at the club Pork Chop.
And Suzanne, we heard on police scanner radio that the shooter was captured on city pod cameras and was possibly driving a stolen car. Detectives still looking for that suspect this morning. They say so far they've made no arrests.
This segment right here is to debunk all of the theories of OTF Jam's baby mama being the postal worker who got killed. That is not true. She was a 48-year-old woman. Internet rumors and blog commentary heavily conflated two entirely separate legal situations. This confusion stems from a mix-up between a tragic Chicago shooting and the internet controversy surrounding Lil Durk. The rumors gained traction online following Lil Durk's federal arrest. Media platforms and internet commentators began discussing the timeline of Casey, OTF Jam Hester's decision to wear a wire for the FBI. Popular hip-hop commentators, including DJ Academics, publicized a theory regarding OTF Jam's actual motivation for cooperating with federal authorities. Street rumors alleged that OTF Jam's baby mother was arrested on serious charges, and she reached out to Lil Durk to secure a private defense attorney. The theory claims that Durk ignored her calls for financial and legal help, leaving her without representation. This perceived abandonment allegedly angered Jam, prompting him to completely flip and turn informant against the OTF circle. The rumor became twisted with a real-life tragedy that happened in Chicago. On July 19, 2024, a beloved 48-year-old Chicago U.S. Postal Service letter carrier named Octavia Redmond was targeted and fatally shot while walking her mail route in the West Pullman neighborhood. A 15-year-old juvenile was arrested in Iowa, extradited back to Illinois, and ultimately pleaded guilty to first-degree murder.
Arrest in the murder of a Chicago postal worker. A 15-year-old boy is now charged with killing letter carrier Octavia Redmond. She was shot to death in July on her route in West Pullman. Police say the boy was arrested yesterday in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He's charged with first-degree murder and is due in court later today. We'll have more on this story coming up for you on our news starting at 4 o'clock.
Great to have you with us. I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Erica Sargent. More than 2 months after the shooting death of a postal worker on the city's south side, police tell us they found her killer in another state.
Our investigator Megan Hickey joins us live now from the post office in Roseland, where Octavia Redmond worked. And Megan, her friends and family were stunned by the news of this arrest today.
Right. They tell me not a day has gone by that they have not thought of Octavia Redmond, who was a very familiar and friendly face here. They still want to know why all of this happened, and they're still fighting for safety improvements for letter carriers.
Now we got to relive it again.
Letter carrier Elise Foster tells me she got the call about an arrest early this morning.
I talked to her husband, Demetrius Redmond, and that's my first call, let him know that my heart goes out to him and that, you know, it's a step in the right direction.
48-year-old Octavia Redmond was fatally shot multiple times while delivering mail in West Pullman on July 19th. The shooter's getaway vehicle was found abandoned and torched in the middle of a south side field. This surveillance video was the only look we had at the shooter, showing someone getting into a Dodge Durango before the shooting and then running across the street and out of view of cameras after shots were fired. CPD said they tracked this suspect down to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where the 15-year-old was arrested on Monday.
It will never bring her back, that you know, it's a step in the right direction, that someone will pay for the vicious crime that they did.
Redmond's colleagues and Roseland customers alike.
This has been my post office for 48 years.
Were relieved and saddened.
When children commit adult crimes, then that's a whole different story, and it involves all of us because we are parents.
The boy was promptly extradited back to Chicago to face 1 count of first-degree murder. In juvenile court today, he was held in custody, and a follow-up hearing was set for November 1st.
You know, he took a life. Now his life is potentially going to be gone, you know, for the murder. And why? That's a question I'm asking. We all asking why. Why her? What did she do?
And Redmond's death reignited safety concerns here and across the city for letter carriers. Her colleagues are hoping that new legislation could bring some improvements. We'll have much more on that coming up at 6.
On July 1st, 2026, he was sentenced to the maximum juvenile penalty of 5 years in detention. Because both stories involve Chicago-based violence, local street politics, and federal agency involvement, the FBI for OTF and the U.S. Postal Inspection Service for Redmond, internet forums mistakenly combined them into a single narrative. In reality, Redmond's murder and the legal issues involving OTF Jam's family are entirely disconnected. Lil Durk isn't facing this trial alone. 5 other defendants are standing alongside him. DeAndre Wilson, also known as OTF Didi, David Bryan Lindsay, known as Boogie, Keith Jones, known as Brown Eyes, Asa Houston, and Kevon London Grant. Their attorneys tried to separate the cases. The argument was straightforward. A joint trial could overwhelm the jury with evidence that doesn't apply equally to every defendant, and there was a lot of evidence. One discovery production reportedly required an entire 1 terabyte hard drive containing digital evidence and cell phone extractions. That's an enormous amount of information, messages, records, data, communications, and digital traces prosecutors believe can help reconstruct what happened. But the judge rejected the request for separate trials. The 6 defendants would face the case together. And on August 20th, 2026, jury selection officially began. After years of investigation, motions, accusations, and evidence battles, the case was finally moving toward the moment that mattered most. A jury would soon have to decide what actually happened.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. That day is finally upon us. Tomorrow we start trial. Tomorrow is that day we all been looking for. So alhamdulillah, man. Continue to keep us in prayer. Continue to shower your love and your support on us. We need it at this time right here, and we ask everyone to continue to be there for us. There's going to be a 3 to 4 week trial, alhamdulillah, and don't let a day go past that you don't make dua for, that you don't pray for us, and we will be victorious in the end, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
The prosecution's case doesn't depend on one witness, and it doesn't depend on one conversation. Instead, prosecutors are building what appears to be a massive digital puzzle. Cell phone data, text messages, credit card records, flight information, rental car records, and cell tower data allegedly tracking movements between Chicago and California. Individually, each piece might seem significant, but investigators don't necessarily need one piece of evidence to tell the entire story. They can try to connect them. One phone call, one flight, one rental car, one financial transaction, one location, one message, and suddenly prosecutors can attempt to construct a timeline that they say connects people thousands of miles apart to a single night in Los Angeles. But there's another piece of evidence that has created an entirely different controversy: Lil Durk's music.
The rapper Lil Durk's federal murder for hire trial is rapidly approaching, and prosecutors want to introduce some of his song lyrics as evidence against him. How would that work, and what's going on here?
Sure, yeah, this is a huge case. Lil Durk, the Chicago drill rapper, extremely popular nationwide. He was kind of charged a year ago with this conspiracy to commit murder for hire, really rocking the music industry. And prosecutors want to use his lyrics and his rap videos against him at trial. They say that the lyrics show Durk's control over an organization that carried out a murder in Los Angeles, again, across state lines. It's what makes it a federal case. And it shows his control over this organization, which he says is just a music clique, but also his motivation in the form of retribution for another rapper's murder, King Von. And they'll show that these lyrics show that motivation. This is a nationwide trend about lyrics being used against rappers. You had in the last decade, Bobby Shmurda and Young Thug, two other enormous rappers, have their lyrics come into play in their cases. Opponents say this chills free speech, First Amendment, and that this is just poetry that's being taken out of context in these cases, and it inflames the passion of the jury because some of these lyrics are very violent, but they're a form of art. So the big debate, the judge said some of these lyrics can come in, some of these music video clips can come in to show that there is an organization. Again, a conspiracy is an agreement among people to commit a crime, so they can go to further that, but also some of the motive that may be at issue in Durk's trial.
Yeah, very interesting case. We'll see how it all plays out soon. Dan, thank you so much. We'll see you next Monday for more of the legal landscape.
The defense has argued that rap lyrics are art, creative expression, performance, and that treating lyrics as literal confessions can unfairly criminalize the music itself. But prosecutors wanted Lil Durk's lyrics and the music video for Piss Me Off admitted into evidence. The judge allowed it, and that decision could become one of the most controversial elements of the trial. The song was released just 2 days after prosecutors say the alleged plot was hatched. The government points to lyrics it believes demonstrate criminal intent and motive, but the defense sees the situation differently. They argue that prosecutors are taking artistic expression and presenting it as proof of real-world conduct. It's a battle that goes far beyond one defendant, because if lyrics can be used as evidence in a federal criminal case, where does the line between art and omission actually exist? That question could follow this trial long after the verdict. And now, all of these elements are converging. A murder in Los Angeles, a feud rooted in the death of King Von, an alleged revenge motive, 6 defendants, a cooperating witness, secret recordings, financial records, cell phone data, travel records, and music that prosecutors believe contains clues to the alleged conspiracy. The government's theory is that these aren't separate events, they're pieces of the same story. The defense, however, has another job: to create doubt, to challenge the cooperating witness, to question the meaning of lyrics, to attack the government's interpretation of digital evidence, and ultimately to convince the jury that the prosecution hasn't proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Because in federal court, suspicion isn't enough, association isn't enough, and even a mountain of evidence has to connect back to the specific charges. Lil Durk is facing 7 serious federal felony counts, and while prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty, a conviction of the most serious charges could result in a mandatory life sentence. That means this isn't simply another high-profile rap trial. For the defendants, the consequences could be permanent. But perhaps the biggest mystery is still unresolved. What really happened inside the OTF circle after King Von's death? Was Lul Pab's murder truly a coordinated act of revenge? Did the digital evidence capture a conspiracy, or merely people connected by music, friendship, and geography? And how much weight should a jury place on the testimony of a man who was secretly working with the FBI while appearing to remain loyal to the people around him? Those questions are no longer being doubted on social media. They're moving into a federal courtroom, and now 6 defendants are waiting for 12 jurors to decide which version of the story they believe. Because when the verdict finally comes, it won't just determine what happened in Los Angeles. It could determine whether Lil Durk walks out of federal custody, or spends the rest of his life behind bars. Alright, y'all, and there y'all have it, man. That's the crazy story of the Lil Durk murder for hire federal case. Hey, man, get in that comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Drillers and trappers, we outside trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video.